of the cellulose present in their cell wall into the glucose, and that glucose can be utilized for the fermentation to produce the ethanol. So like this, we can also produce the ethanol. So please next slide.
Yes.
So yeah, so as we know, so the algae are the simple plants, so that range from the microalgae to large seaweeds also, like 1 to 2 feet also we can observe the cells of the algae. So those are also called the giant kale. So algae can be grown using the various types of water like brackish sea. Then the wastewater also one of the prominent source that are used to produce or to use to grow the algae, because anyhow we need to reduce the cost of production, cost of harvesting. So that's why we need to grow the algae on the such sources where the minimum requirement of the various sources are required. Then the most microalgae grow through the photosynthesis, as we know that is the common purpose of plants that convert the sunlight, CO2, and with the help of nutrients into the nitrogen and phosphorus into the biomass. So other algae can grow in the dark also using sugar or the starch as utilizing the sugar and starch for the substrate. Those are called as the mixotrophic cultivation actually. So there are 3 ways to cultivate the algae, like the autotrophic. So those are dependent upon the sunlight and the CO2 naturally. So then the heterotrophic, where we can produce or we can externally supply the CO2 and the light, and the mixotrophic, where we can utilize these sugar molecules, okay, in order to grow the algae. Please next slide, please. Yeah, so as I told, so there are 2 types of algae, that is microalgae and macroalgae. So microalgae are basically, yeah, so these are rich in the hydrogen and also can accumulate the lipids in their cells. Then it can also have the carbohydrates, so the normal structure of the algae and the biomass, whereas the macroalgae mainly accumulate the carbohydrates only. Okay, so the macroalgae like the seaweeds cannot accumulate the lipids, so that's why only the ethanol can be produced from the macroalgae cultivation. So next slide, please. Yeah. So okay. So as I told, so there are various advantages over this the other generations. So these can be grown on the marginal lands, useless or the ordinary crops also. So high yield per acre. So we can achieve the high production in a small area also. So can be grown with minimal impact on the freshwater sources, because there are some algae that can also grow on the some of the wastewater, as I told earlier also. Yes, of course, these can be grown using the flue gases like CO2 from the power plants, and can convert a much higher fraction of biomass to the oil that conventional crops, for example, 60% versus the 2% for the soybean. So basically, the algae accumulates the lipid molecule in the nitrogen limited environment. So nitrogen and phosphorus are required to grow the algal biomass. Once the nitrogen is limited, then the algae starts accumulating the lipid molecules inside their cells, and that lipids that is our desired product, we can say, or utilize for the biodiesel production. So please next slide. Yeah. So here you can see the how the algae are important in order to produce the biofuel. So algae yield the multiple times higher production than the other biofuel crops. The soybean yields around 48 gallons per acre per year. So then the camelina, it produces 62 gallons per acre per year. Where the jatropha also you can see around 200 gallons per acre we can produce the biofuel, whereas the algae you can see the around 3,500 gallons per acre per year we can obtain the biofuel. So that means these algae are considered as a high yield fuel sources. So please next slide. Okay. So algae fuel production, you can see the versus the other sources or the other biofuels, like the first and the second generation. Also, you can see how the algae are more important or the more producer we can see. So there is one algae that is called a Botrycoccus species actually. So those are the main accumulators of the lipid. So those are the microalgae actually. So those are the main accumulator of the lipids, and those are prominently used for the biofuel purposes. So please next slide. Yeah. So this is the stepwise process of producing the biofuel from the algae. You can see. So first of all, we need to cultivate the algae by means of various ways. So here is a open pond. We can at the large scale we can produce or we can grow the algae in the open pond. Those are also called as the raceway ponds. So the structure of the raceway pond is looks like this. And here we can cultivate the algae. And after that, we need to harvest the algae. So this is the most critical step. We'll discuss again this part. Then the extracting of the lipids, and that lipid can be further utilized for the biofuel production. Yeah. So what are the algae? Those are the main producers of these lipids actually. So the microalgae that include the highest yielding algae, the aquatic unicellular algae, the chlorophyceae. Then the other species are also there. You can see this tabular over there. The Botrycoccus brownie. So as I was discussing on this, so it accumulates around 75% of the lipid in their cell. Then the other algae are also there, like Chlorella species, Chlorella vulgaris. Other species are also there. Those can also be accumulators of the lipid, but the efficient accumulator is Botrycoccus brownie. So there are some areas also for the improvement, as I told. So the polycultures. So that include the more than algae we can utilize for the cultivation purposes. And then the genetic engineering, we can by means of genetic engineering we can improve the strains also in order to tolerate the algal growth in the some of the salty water we can say, or some of the wastewater also, so that we can reduce the production cost of the algae. Please next slide, sir. Yeah. So certainly there are some advantages and also challenges for these ways of the production. Like the raceway pond is having advantages. The low capital cost, we can produce this algae. Then the but whereas the one of the yeah whereas one of the major disadvantage of this raceway pond is the evaporation of water, because since it is the open pond, so evaporation of water will be a challenging purposes, and also the contamination, and the contamination is also one of the major challenges associated with this open pond. In the photobioreactor, so photobioreactor can also be utilized to grow the algae, but we can provide the required amount of light, as well as the other conditions like the CO2 and the amount of light, that those are optimized light actually. So the higher surface to water volume ratio can be obtained with this photobioreactor, but of course these are difficult to utilize for the scale up purposes, and high likelihood of the contamination also, and very high capital cost. Once the contamination will be there, then it is very difficult to utilize those for the further purposes. Where the next step is fermentation. So by utilizing the fermentation, that is biomass, the easier to obtain the optimal conditions for the production of the ethanol. So this is one of the way to utilize the biofuel. So this can compete for the feedstock with the other biofuel technologies. and possibly the food supply like sugarcane. So we can utilize the biomass of the algae for the purpose of ethanol, and we can efficiently use this for the scaling purposes. So please next slide. Okay. So however, for the scaling purposes, the open pond is the more dominant one in order to obtain the lipid molecules. Okay, in order to accumulate the lipid molecules inside the cell because of their
एगो इन्वायरमेंट पर एथी होता वेब सीरीज एथी का कहेला सीरीज होता
pardon.
लेक्चर पार्टिसिपेट कर लेते
Hello. Can you mute for some time? We have to finish one, then we'll discuss if any questions are there. There is no problem. You can type in the chat box. We'll take every questions. I request to speaker, please continue.
Okay, fine. Thank you. So as I told, with the help of a raceway pond, we can scale up the production of this biofuel. So there will not be any requirement of the cleaning. So and we can also utilize the genetic engineering, as I told, in order to grow the biomass with the polycultures also. So please next slide. Yeah. So once the biomass has been grown, then there are some methods which can be utilized in order to harvest the algae. So those include the sedimentation. So that is the initial phase of separating the algae from the water molecule. So once the agitation is completed, the algae are allowed to settle down. However, along with this sedimentation, there are other methods are also there, like the membrane separation, then flocculation and flotation. So the membrane separation is like the filtration only. So in the lab, like the funnel can be is attached with the vacuum flask, and the contents are poured out onto the filter on the funnel, and with the help of that vacuum, we can achieve the filtration process. So, but this membrane separation is not that much, we can say, efficient for the at the large scale. However, the other methods we need to look at, like the flocculation. So in the flocculation is a method where the flocculants are added into the mixture of water and algae, so that causes the algae to form the clumps. So the aggregates or the clumps are easily can be separated from this mixture. So the chemical flocculants that include the alum and the ferric chloride are utilized mainly, whereas the one of the biological flocculant is also there, that is the chitosan. But due to the high cost of this chitosan, that may add the further cost to the harvesting cost to this method. Then the next one is froth flotation. So this is also another method for harvesting and separating the algae from the water. So in this technique, so this is also based on the density differences in the material. So typically air bubbles are incorporated into the unit, that sometimes add additional organic chemical also for the adjustment of pH that enhances the separation process. So here also the algal system, the algae will accumulate with the froth of the bubbles at the top only, and there is some way to collect or to scrap the froth. So by this way we can achieve the harvesting of the algae. Okay. So here you can see some of the extraction processes. So where we need to extract the accumulated lipid into the from the algae. So so the extraction included the solvent extraction and also the supercritical CO2 extraction. So please next slide. So these we have already discussed in the harvesting, solid separation, dewatering. Yeah. So the chemical solvent extraction. So this is most commonly used method. However, it is less effective when the microalgae are still wet. So with the help of this chemical solvent extraction, we need to have the dry form of algae. So that can be achieved with the help of freeze drying or the other methods like the spray drying, oven drying, or the vacuum evaporation also. So this further enhances or it adds the cost of extraction or the overall cost of the biofuel. However, drying microalgae prior to this extraction of the lipid that required 2.5 times more energy than the process of without drying, which makes the some costly process. So please next slide. Yeah. So in the laboratory scale, we use the solvent-based methods like the chloroform methanol. So that includes the 17 gram of lipids per dry weight. Okay. Or the hexane also we can use for this chemical solvent extraction. So here, because of the less polarity of this hexane, so we can extract the around 25% of this gram of lipid per gram of dry weight. So this is from the heterotrophic microalgae, that is Chlorella photothecoides. So whereas other less toxic solvents can also be utilized like the ethanol in order to increase the permeability of the membranes of this algae so that lipids can be further extracted. So the other method is supercritical carbon dioxide extraction. So in this actually the extraction is mainly dependent upon the two ways, that is the temperature and the pressure one. So this is non-toxic process, easy to recover, and it is usable at the low temperature also. So main advantage of this supercritical carbon dioxide is it can be utilized for the dry weight also and for the wet weight of the algae also. So please next slide. Yeah. So yeah. So you can see here the dry biomass as well as the wet biomass can be utilized for the extraction with the help of this method. So from the dry biomass, it achieves around 5.8 and 3.2 gram of lipid per dry weight, whereas the wet biomass that yields around the 7.1% of the gram of lipid per gram of dry weight. So here there will not be any constraint of the nature of the biomass. So please next slide. Okay. So as I told, there are various methods to increase the permeability of these membranes of the algae so that we can easily extract the accumulated lipids like the microwave and the autoclaving, and the osmotic shock, bead beating. Bead beating is the more efficient process actually. So where we can use the some of the non-toxic glass beads to break down the membrane of these algae actually. Yeah. So the microwave and the beating can be used. So whereas the other method is also there, that is biochemical extraction. Here actually we utilize the enzyme, that is cellulase one. So cellulase can act on the cellulose present in the cell wall of this algae, and easily we can increase the permeability of this algal so that we can easily extract the lipid. So the offer the low technology and the low cost methods of harvesting and the lipid extraction. So for example, around 72 hours of the cellulose hydrolysis treatment of this Chlorella species lipids that yields around the increased yield from the 52 to 54% gram of lipid per gram of dry weight. So that's why this is the more prominent way to extract the lipid molecules instead of going with the solvents, so that further we need to separate those solvents also. We need to that also add the overall cost on the biofuels. So enzymatic way, that is the biological biochemical way, is the more prominent one. Okay, now after extracting the lipid molecules, so as we know, there is a more important to convert this lipid molecule into the energy. We can say the bio in the form of biodiesel. So please, can you previous slide, please? Yeah. So with the help of this transesterification process, we can achieve or we can convert the lipids, accumulated lipids, into the biodiesel. So the direct use of the crude vegetable oils in the diesel engine, that could lead to the numerous technical issues because of their high viscosity, density, and also difficulty to vaporize in the cold conditions. So that's why we need to convert those lipids into the form of the biodiesel. Yeah, please next slide, sir. Yeah. So this is the process of transesterification. You can see the triglyceride, that is lipids. If we treat with the alcohol, okay, in the presence of the catalyst, the catalyst we can use the KOH or the NaOH. Then we can achieve the process of conversion of this triglyceride into the methyl esters. Okay. Uh, So these are called as the biodiesels actually, and plus the byproduct is glycerol. So this glycerol can be mobilized for the other purposes also. So in order to reduce the overall cost of production of the biofuel. So this transesterification reaction reduces the molecular weight of this lipid, then the viscosity also reduce, then the increases the volatility of the microalgae lipids, of course. So please next slide. Yeah. So you can see this is yeah. So you can see this is the these are major countries which are involved in the production of biofuels actually. So the biofuel demand in the transport sector by region wise can be shown over here. So please next slide. Okay. So this is these are the charts which shows the global energy use in the transport sector by 2050. So you can see the biofuel which accounts for the 27%, which can be used for the transport sector. The hydrogen, there is 7%. The gasoline and other fuels are also there. Yeah. So please next slide. Yeah. Okay. So apart from the biofuels, so there are various uses of the algae are there for that can be utilized for the various commercial processes, commercial purposes. So that include the cosmetics. So there are various nutraceutical products are also produced from this algae, like pharmaceutical and vitamins also. Like as we know, the algae can also be utilized for the food purposes because of their rich content of the proteins, and also the okay. So after extracting the lipid molecules, we can utilize those biomass for the various purposes like the fertilizers. Then the animal feed can be utilized for the cultivation of feed and or the other animals. Then bioplastic can also be produced from this algae. So there are various means of utilization of this algae apart from the biofuel. So please next slide. Okay. So you can see here actually there are various countries those are main producers of the biofuels. So US is the prominent country which produces the more, or you can see the highest rate of the biofuel worldwide. So after that Brazil, then the Indonesia. So these are some countries. So please next slide. Okay. So with conclusion, we can say algae biofuel is a very promising candidate to replace the fossil fuels. So this is the major biofuel we can utilize as an alternative source for the fossil fuels. So the algae cultivation does not require that it compete with the food crops. Okay, we can achieve the we can cultivate the algae more prominently in a small area also. So that can be in the non-arable land or using the salt water. Or as I told, so there are some techniques used like the genetic engineering that can be used to modify the genomes of the algae so that they can withstand the wastewaters also. So this can be utilized for the cultivation of the algae. So produce over 20 times the oil producing production of any food crop. So an acre of algae can produce around 5,000 gallons of the biodiesel. So this much biodiesel can be extracted. The production can reach around 60 billion gallons per year that could replace all the diesel in the US. So of course, these are the major potential of the biofuel we can say. Yes, sir. So please next slide. I think this one is the last. Yeah. So thank you very much for being a patient in the class. Can say during this discussion. So I would like to thank once again Dr. Ashok sir for getting me this opportunity.
Thank you very much, sir. Thanks a lot for sharing your valuable insights about biofuel and its production from different sources, not for from the grain based. Of course, we learn about some lignocellulosic starch based, lignocellulosic based, and algae based. So thanks a lot, and thank you very much, all the participants. Now we'll go the question. We have here some questions about this. So I am going to chat, reading the chat box, so the when they can ask the question, and some questions are already there. Uh, One question was from Dr. G.S. Patnaik. What would be the productivity of biofuel out of wood dust?
Yeah. So productivity actually depends upon the what way we are utilizing the treatment process, like the pre-treatment, as I told. So if we are going to the toward this dilute acid or the concentrated acid also, so that produces the inhibitors. Okay, so whatever the availability of the process, so if we utilize that, so that can be utilized for the production process. So particular like a particular account we cannot tell. So that may differ depending upon the processes actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another question, is it possible to have algae cultivation with eucalyptus, as he has some 1,000 hectares? It is written. You can also see the chat box. Is it possible to have algae cultivation with the eucalyptus?
So I didn't get the question again.
Question
Yeah,
is,
just
yeah,
just I'm telling.
yeah, please.
Actually, we cultivate eucalyptus for paper productions.
Right. Okay.
So
Okay.
every year around 10,000 hectares plantation is done.
Okay.
So it is both. It is farm forestry as well as social forestry.
Mhm.
So peripherals also of the land of the farmers.
Hmm.
It is produced. Is it possible that when it is planted in the peripherals of the land, is it possible to have algae in the middle along with eucalyptus? Any effect on the eucalyptus?
Yes, of course we can cultivate the algae in the middle also, as I told earlier in the during the discussion also. We can cultivate the algae in the open sources also. If eucalyptus is around that, there will not be any difficulty in the growth of the biomass.
So how do you encourage the farmers to cultivate this?
Yeah. So actually, sir, as I told, like open pond is one of the sources where the farmers can go. Okay. So,
Yeah.
so actually, this is the sophisticated technique where the farmers need to have the proper guidance and all things, sir.
Of course.
Because
Also,
yeah, so
we give total technology to the farmers for producing eucalyptus also. Yes.
yeah. So with the help of the open pond or the raceway pond, we can encourage the farmers to cultivate the algae, and of course, those that cultivated algae can be further utilized for the various purposes, including the biofuels also.
Okay.
Yeah. So major prominent is the open sources, sir. Open pond sources.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Means waterlogged area is required. If open area is there, then I think it's better to have this algae in the pond because this.
Yeah, raceway pond. Yeah.
Another question is from Mr. Chandrachud Ghosh that what is the best method in terms of quality and economic? What are the best method
Quality.
for, yeah, I think for ethanol? Also, you can ask Mr. Chandrachud if you are there, then you can ask by unmuting yourself because sometimes it may not getting actual question. Dr. Yeah, you can unmute yourself, please. You can ask the question properly.
Hello.
Yeah, please.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Just actually, I want to know what is the most economy process, and also we have the same quality as we can use for biofuel as it.
Sir,
There
if
are
you see the
actually,
economy, yeah.
actually, sir,
Proceed.
in your presentation, I have seen so many processes there. So, what will be the correct process we can go for as a economic and as well as quality?
Yeah. Sir, actually, all the processes are correct only. So the if you see if you for the economic purposes, so I'll suggest go for the algal cultivation only, because
Okay,
algae can be the growth of algae or the biomass of the algae can be achieved in large quantity within a small area also. So that is the one-time investment actually. If you form or if you create a raceway pond or the open pond where the algae can be grown over there, so that will be the better source of biofuel actually.
sir.
Because
Can we grow or cultivate the algae in water reservoir or any plant?
water.
Can we cultivate the algae in reservoir or plant on the open industry?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Means
Yeah.
you are asking because you belongs to DRI plant, right? So in DRI
Yes,
plant,
yes, yes, sir.
the steel plant. So
Water diesel mixer.
yeah, in that case, you can grow the algae if you have water reservoir near your DRI based
Okay.
steel plant. So then you can also,
So,
of course, you
so
can.
along with the water reservoir, you should have the proper like agitation purpose also. If something there to have the agitation, okay, that is also a prominent like a technique we can say. In order to, because what happens, sir, if you will not agitate the whatever the water pond or whatever the raceway pond, so that may form a clump. Okay, so the algae can form a clump, so that should not be there. So that's why it is better to have the agitator, the proper agitator. If you see the raceway pond, so the commercial raceway pond, so you may understand actually.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay. So
Yeah.
also, okay. If any participant, if they have question, then you can ask. The next week we have session on GIS, the application of GIS on urban forestry. Basically, means how the urban forestry can be developed and how we can, what the role of GIS. That is actually land use patterns and land ecological change detection. So now, if you have means any participant, if they have any question, they can ask. Also, any means panelist, if they want to add something about this, so most welcome.
So thank you very much
Okay. Okay. I
for
think
today's session. Actually, yeah,
okay. I think no more questions are there, right? From the participants
yeah.
side. Okay, thanks a lot. So I thank all the participants sparing time for understanding of biofuel and all the possibilities, because biofuel actually this is required for now, and you must aware that government of India has one program that is known as scheme EBP, ethanol blending scheme or program 2024. It was released on
Yes,
16th June only this year 2021. So under this, 20% of ethanol to be blended with the petrol as MS, that is known as MS, motor spirit. So under this, biofuel is having a significant role in our daily life. So if you are going, even you can see in some northern area, in northern state of the India, they have started. There are many distillery plants to be set up under proposal under this EPP program only, because all these distillery plant are under B2. B2, if you aware about the notifications of EIA notification under this Environment Protection Act. So it has means two category A, category B. Then category B has been reclassified into B1 and B2. B2 means there is no EIA required. So this distillery, grain-based distillery under EBP, and if you are in ZLD, then this is under category B2. Means there is no requirement of EIA. You can put your case before ministry. In one shot, it will be clear. So EC will be granted. And next session, training program certificate course for 3 day. We have understanding of cement sector and impact assessment. Registrations are open. If any person who is having interest in this, they can register for this training program. So I again thank you all the participant. Thank you speaker. Thank you session chair. Thank you panelist. I will meet next week with GIS on the same platform, same time. That is 5 o'clock. And meeting link and password is the same for every Sunday. There is no change in that. Means to join the session or something. So you can have the meeting ID and password. Otherwise, PDF has all the links. If you read there, the links are also there. Otherwise, I am also sharing again so that no one can miss. So thank you very much. If any questions are there, then you can also WhatsApp us.
yeah, sure.
Okay.